Hello and welcome to the GBHL podcast. Here with your host GBHL Jamie. This is a hobby vlog of what I've been up to over the past few months when I've been going off my trips to America. Now, as many of you know, if you've been a part of the channel for a while, my journey as it was through the world of work. When I left my job at Legoland, I got a job with Steamforge, sticked around with them for a bit. They made Guild Ball and also now Dark Souls the board game and Shadow Games. And through that, opportunities have arisen to go to America and go to the American conventions. So I've been to Gamma, Gen Con, Origins, ACD Games Day. There are 4. I don't think I've missed any out there. Oh, in doing so, even more opportunities arrive. There are very good offers at these conventions. There are stands called Liquidators who have obviously bought from a liquidated games company and then they sell off the products at a lower cost. So that's great for picking up sort of unknown board games at a cheap price when you don't want to go in on the full RRP. And I mean ridiculously cheap. I'll come on to some of them soon. And also trading is a huge thing in America. So that means that you take $100 of Guild Ball stock, go over to a stand and say, hey, do you want to trade your stock for this stock? And most of the time they say yes, because everyone likes to get new toys. So over the past few visits, I'll show you my collections from the non-Lord of the Rings stuff and the Lord of the Rings stuff, and let you know sort of how I found them. Now, also to this, I have gotten a ton of board games, so much so that I'm not going to play all of them, and they're taking up quite a lot of space in my current living conditions. So I'd like to say that there will be a competition to get your hands on some of the board games in this pile, but hopefully I'll think of that towards the end. I need to get rid of some, basically. I don't want to eBay them. I've got the channel. I thought I might as well do it through here. So clear that up. Kick things off. We've got Onitama. Now, Onitama is a fantastic game that I played at Origins Game Fair, but managed to pick up most recently at Gen Con. What it is it's a chess-style game, but I'll open it up and show you. Instead of your pieces making regular chess piece moves, such as sort of the knight going in the L shape, you draw from a deck of cards. You can see there. That is the movement your piece is allowed to make that turn. We've all gone upside down. So the monkey there, you can move one square around the piece. Is that the snake? You can move into the coloured squares around it. And we see you draw 5 of them, and that's for all players. You have 2 in your hand, 1 in the deck, as it were. And that's all 5 moves available for the entire game. You win by taking the opponent's king, or by getting your king onto their king's square. It's a really cool game. It comes with its own neoprene playmat, and it costs about $20 on Amazon. So a really good board game, and I highly recommend picking it up, and that'll be coming to a few tournaments with me in the future. That's Onitama. Then from Cool Mini or Not, I picked up Xeno Shift, which is a strategic defense deck builder. So it's deck building and tower running, basically. I've not managed to play it yet, as it's still in its cellophane wrap, as you can see by how shiny it is. But it does look good fun. I know a couple of guys at work have played it and they've enjoyed it, and I got that through trading, and also got these expansions with it as well, to increase the decks that you can build. Right. From one of the liquidators, I got the Walking Dead card game, made by Cryptozoic, known for reskinning their games with different images, basically, different licenses. I've not played it yet. It seems to be just a card game where you fight off walkers and see how long you can survive for. That might be going into the, I'll put that to one side, that might be going in the win pile. Next up we got Dead Drop, which is, I have no idea where I've got this from. Agents must trade and sell secrets in order to learn the location of the coveted information and grab it before it falls into the wrong hands. Dead Drop is a game that involves elements of memory, deduction, and crafty manoeuvring. Again, it looks like a card game where you need to lie a little bit and get to the game beforehand. That can go in the win pile. Crossing. This was a freebie handed out to everybody who attended the ACD Games Day, and genuinely it doesn't look very great. It's just a glorified version of Snap. Guess where that's going? Win pile. Got Thunder and Lightning, which is a card game based around the Norse gods, and I'll be keeping that one as I would like to play it eventually. It's a 2-player game. Looks cool. Tiny Epic Kingdoms. Now this one I bought at Gen Con. The Tiny Epics world, there's so many games out there with the name Tiny Epics in front of. They're really good fun. I've played Tiny Epic Galaxies with some of the guys at Steamforge Games. Absolutely loved it. I thought I'd get the fantasy version of it because it's more interesting to me. That's in the keep pile. Front Lines, No Comrades. It's a game about screwing your friends over and trying to stay alive whilst on the front line of the war. It's really good fun. I've not actually played it, had a quick look through and read the rules for it. I can have a quick run through today on my own, so I understand how the game mechanics work before I teach someone else how to play it. That's staying in keep. Also from Cool Mini or Not, we've got The Grizzled. Now I played this last time I was over in Nottingham. I believe it was Nottingham I played it. It was really good fun, and it's basically about you and your friends surviving the war and trying to do it whilst not talking. Imagine you were on the front lines of World War I. You lose if one person dies, so it's quite a punishing game, but very rewarding if you do win. Next up from Osprey Games, the guys who make Frostgrave, it's Odin's Ravens. Now, Odin's Ravens is a 2-player game where you lay out cards, you make a sort of a track for your ravens to go around, and it's basically the first person to get there from one end to the other wins. But there are Loki is in the game, and he messes up the track for you and your opponent, and you've got to use your card to try and get there as quickly as possible. It's essentially a resource management game, but it's very, very good fun. We've got Burgle Bros, which I kickstarted a long time ago. It's a very fun tower heist game. So you and your friends need to go in, steal the jewels, get out, and it's very good fun, very, very difficult. I've only beaten it in a 2-player variant, I've not managed to do it in 3 or 4. But it's really good fun, and because I enjoyed their game so much, I went and I bought this game called Paperback, which is a word-based game. So you gain points for the words you spell using the cards that are in the deck. We'll see how it goes. Words aren't my strong point, but it sounds like good fun, so that's staying in the keep pile. Machikodo! I got this very cheap from one of the liquidators. I think it was $9, so at the time about £7. RRP's much higher. And I've not actually played it very much. It's a city building dice rolling card game, that's what it says on the front here. It looks very cool, but I've been told from some of the guys that I need to buy the Harbour expansion, otherwise there's one path to victory and it's unstoppable as soon as someone is on it. So a little bit of imbalanced gameplay without the expansion. So I'm looking to pick that up at the next convention because I do want to give that a game. Then we've got one of these small little baggies called Empire Engine. Looks very fun. I picked it up dirt cheap from one of the liquidators. It's from the same guys who make all the Love Letter games, so I expect it to be quite good. Never actually looked inside it though. That's all the non-Lord of the Rings stuff. Now we shall move on to Lord of the Rings. I've actually missed some games. They're over in the corner, but we don't need them as well. So to start off with, I got some of the trading card game packs that come with a certain type of card in it, and then I think it's 3 rares. This is the Shadows version. Now, these are all starter decks, so 2v2 in each one, but should allow me enough to just sort of get a taste for the game. I know a couple of guys at work, Jay Finnegan and the Boss Locks, are interested in it, so they're staying in the keep pile. And I might have some fun unboxing them with some of the guys as well, like we did with the Frozen pack. Again, from the liquidators, I managed to get my hands on this. Is a cooperative, semi-co-op type style game where you need to work together to kill the monsters, but the monsters you kill earn you points at the end of the game, so there is an overall winner and a group win condition as well. You draw cards and create your own fellowships, and you send them off to kill the monsters that have been laid out. It's pretty simple gameplay, but quite fun. And some nice combos in there as well. That's one side, that's in the keep. From Fantasy Flight Games, I got the Lord of the Rings, the card game. So this is a cooperative game where you work with your friends to overcome certain scenarios that are available. There's tons of expansions. I got the main box card game, the starter box set, and the Heirs of Numenor expansion kit, so that brings in some additional heroes. Ooh, where's it going? And some more scenarios to play. I'm going to give it a run through. It is a one-player game, so I played the one-player yesterday, but it's very challenging, so I think you need multiple people to do it. That's what it's recommended for. So they're in the stay pile. They might come on the channel at some point, because that's quite a fun game. And then finally, I think that's finally, oh not quite finally, I got these deck building games. So these are fantastic fun. Basically, again it's co-op, but also individual winners, so it's a nice style to play. They're a deck building game. So to start the game, you shuffle up the entire deck, dish them out, and then as you play the game, you need to craft your deck. So from the middle of the road, you pick up, a resource card. Put it in your deck, you shuffle, next time it comes around, you draw out a few cards, you play them, you get power to spend on more cards, and so basically you slow roll into having a very powerful deck, and then start beating main bosses to gain yourself points. I've played through the Fellowship, very good fun. I've got the two towers and Return of the King to play as well. I'll probably take them down to the notch sometime. And finally, I got the Battle of Five Armies board game, which takes a few hours to play. 60 plus minutes it recommends, but I reckon it'll be even longer than that. Well, see, if you've played the War of the Rings board game, it's based on that, the epic ending of The Hobbit, but I have not, so I don't actually know how the game plays. I know it's got some very cool figures on it. I can show you on the back. You can see there are different factions available. I'll be looking forward to just playing it at some point. It's a game for 2 players, aged 13 to adult. So 2-player game. Plenty of players in the area now, so I should hopefully get some of these games out of their cellophane wrap. But also not quite finished. Got Gladiator: The Quest for the Rudess. This is like a sort of very a board game that I was looking for a while. Not this one in particular, just this style where you are in the game a gladiator or manage gladiators. They got Spartacus, but it didn't quite scratch the itch. And basically, you go through, you fight battles against other people. It seems very stat intensive just looking at it at the back. Ooh. But you go through, you fight the players around you, and ultimately, or AIs I reckon, ultimately you gain the Rudess and you gain your freedom. It seems like a cool game. I'll break it open. It's 1 to 6 players. I could do that already. Interesting. Might give that a run through today. But yeah, it's a game, a style of game that I've wanted for a while. I like the theme to it, and gladiators are pretty cool. So that's what I've been doing and what I've gathered over the past few months. I'm going back to America for the Nova Open. This in a few weeks' time. So again, there will be a little lull in the amount of content coming out, though we do have Harry and Steve now to hold the fort whilst we're gone, and they can put out their hobby vlogs and whatever else they can conjure up. But yeah, so that's what I've been doing, that's what I've gathered. Hopefully we'll see some of these on the channel at some point. If not, at tournaments, just come up and ask, because I'll probably have some of these with me, because I want to play them. Yeah, that's it. The win pile that I decided I would happily give out to you guys are The Crossing, Dead Drop, and The Walking Dead. And what I've decided that I'm going to do for them is I'll put a post on our GBHL Podcast Facebook page, and you have to go over there, like and comment it to be any chance with winning. If you do that, I'll draw a winner. Let's say the weekend of Nova, will be the cut-off date. Sure, weekend of Nova, that's the cut-off date. And then when I get back from Nova, I'll pick a winner and get in touch with you to get your details to send it out. So, thank you very much, guys. As ever, be sure to comment, like, share and subscribe. Like us on Facebook below to go and be with the chance of winning these. Follow us on Twitter, support your Hobbit hobby, support the Hobbit host in the links below, and happy strategy battle gaming. I think I got it all right, or mixed it up there.